Okay, today is Thursday, 4:30, and it's approximately 12:30, and I'm heading to the Department of Public Health for the to be taken to a medical provider per Miss Smith, Ada Smith, who sent me this appointment. Some of the questions that I want to ask before we get off topic here is, will there be an ADA person there? Now remember, Miss Smith just wrote me in a prior email telling me that San Francisco Department of Public Health does not provide ADA representation. I want to clarify that. I also want to clarify with Miss Smith or Miss Martinez about HIPAA law and recording and why I wasn't answered that question before. I also want to discuss the email which is posted on the video, the prior video, which shows, supposedly them getting in contact with me about the change in the appointment time, not allowing me time to respond, and yet, framing the response as that I had responded and, thanking me for my flexibility. This is Risk Management 101, which is what happens at the Department of Public Health all the time. You submit a complaint and they take liberal license in changing the narrative, moving the goalpost, redescribing the situation so that they look preen and pristine, and then send you a letter back to that consequence, which is basically what happened with this email. I just want you to learn the games. Then, I seek to, ask for a time, because as Miss Martinez told me, and I told her this is only partial. I am also seeking accounting for all the prior things, that happened before. If you look at the prior video. Another thing I want to discuss with them is the sole jurisdiction here. The fact that, I've been trying to get help, and I had the failures with Pine and Dr. Potch, from the Tom Waddell, and those videos are on here. Also, the thing about the 1% exemption rule or something like that for when I was required. They told me I was required to sign a HIPAA form that I wasn't, and it came out in sunshine that I wasn't. And of course, naturally, the person for DPH got up and said, oh, well, there's a 1% rule. And when I went to go ask for it, of course, there was no such beast. Once again, changing the narrative, lying, being deceptive, anything that's possible, but never any accountability. Also, I want to discuss with them my trip to, the 1380 Howard, when I was following up with Dr. Pine and the dismal treatment that I received. And I was also following up to get, to speak with that person who claimed about the 1% rule. Also, I want to speak to them because this is the Department of Public Health Compliance and Privacy about the false arrest here at, 101 Grove by the sheriff's officers on 224. And, since we're on the Department of Public Health and the false arrests and all the intimidation by the sheriff's officers, I can also speak to them about the November 2013 incident at San Francisco General, where I was detained, charged, cited, and of course, naturally, before I got to court, the charges were dropped as they were on the 224 15 incident here where I was falsely arrested. These are all the games and all the illusions that I seek accounting for. Yes, I am so grateful to get my health care. I'll believe it when I see it. In the meantime, this is not just a one-sided issue. There are many issues that need to be resolved, so that I have trust and faith in the system, since the system has so prevalently, screwed me, and I'm sure quite a bit of others. Also, I want to speak to them about, the prior bogus restraining order and DPH appointment failures, what the purpose and result of the sheriff's security detail, and whose rights are they observing. Also, I want to speak to, them about the nature and scope and time length that it took to get to this point. Where is the professionalism? Where has the best practices been? Where is the healthcare, the ethics or values, or anything? So, I also want to speak to them about damages, harm, intentional infliction, et cetera, and bring up the fact that, we had a lawyer who just settled for $725,000 against the chief of police, and they never went to trial. So, and no videos, et cetera, no proof. So, this is something, I've got the videos, I've got the proof, and I have already been to court, and you saw what came of that from, case CO23485PJH, where, as I said, they got up and testified to have my case dismissed, only for them to sign a confession 4 years later admitting fault and guilt, which is on my own private Guantanamo.com, if you want to see a copy of it there. So anyway, I realize that these are a lot of issues. We may have to set up an appointment, to start going down them, which is fine with me. But I just want to show you the mix and, you know, the games that they probably be playing to, you know, circumvent a lot of these questions, you know, not give me what I need in proper follow-up. And, you know, I have my fingers crossed, I have my toes crossed. Oh, and by the way, I've even got my legs crossed that I get the medical care that's long been overdue, you know. So I'll have my video recorder on, and we'll see where we get from here, and we can speak to them about all the illegal activities and establish the baseline for, you know, the continuation and the harm that I've received to date through the Department of Public Health, the Sheriff, the San Francisco Police Department. Oh, the list just goes on and on. Anyway, thank you, and I am here to follow up and to do everything correctly.